you're going to see me. Good evening and welcome to the Final Word Phone with me, Majestic, alongside the man who got to the FA Cup finals, both a player and a manager, Alan Pardew. We've just seen Leeds cruise into the FA Cup quarterfinals as they swept aside Norwich at Ellen Road. Could they be destined for a trip to Wembley? Leeds United at Wembley. That'd be a turnout, wouldn't it, Pods? Elsewhere, the magic of the FA Cup was back as Port Vale and Southampton dispatched of Premier League opposition, with Fulham and Sunderland rotating their team. It didn't go well with their fans. And we'll also discuss the crowd violence that overshadowed Celtic's Cup win against Rangers at Ibrox this afternoon. If you was at any of those games, the phone lines are now open on 03717 22 3344. That's 03717 22 3344. Remember, talkSPORT is now bigger than ever. We're on YouTube and on your smart TV, so come and watch us live on our fantastic 17th floor studio. And of course, it's International Women's Day as well. We will be doffing our cap to all the wonderful women in our life and in sport as well. But now it's all about you and your views. So give us a call on 03717 22 3344. It's Madge, it's Pards, it's Sunday night, it's talkSPORT. Sunday night with Pards. Honestly, my favourite time of the week. How's your week been, Pards?
Been busy.
Been busy?
Yeah, been busy this
Getting
week.
golfing?
A little bit of golf.
A bit of golf.
The 70th birthday party I went to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So well done, Mr. Kevin Constable. He's reached that grand old age. Paid for all the booze and all the food. It's nice, isn't it?
Very nice indeed.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, mate, I've had such a great weekend.
Really?
Oh, mate, it's been lovely.
Go on, why?
No Spurs.
And you had the young games, didn't you?
Oh, of course. You know, it's the Grassroots. You know, it's been a big
Yes.
game. It's been big games of the weekend, the FA Cup. But in the Grassroots, it's Cup games this weekend.
Absolutely.
So I've enjoyed the Grassroots.
All the seasons across all the leagues coming to conclusion time.
The business end.
The business end.
Even in the Grassroots, you know. And what's nowadays, you know, there's no league. It's not competitive. It's all like, oh, you've tried hard, well done.
Oh, okay.
Nonsense.
It's a little bit of that. Yeah.
As Sean Dyche would say, woke nonsense, right?
Put that winning mentality in.
You got to instill it.
Very important.
But it's when they have a cup at the end of the season, so basically the league gets done in a cup, right? So that's all been going on. So I've had that this weekend with my son Leo and his teams. Big shout to GT United.
Gin and tonic.
I don't know what it's named after.
No,
Big shout to Matty and Chaz. GT United.
GT.
He played for both the under-9s and the under-10s this morning, Leo did.
Played a year up.
Yeah, played a year up.
Always a good sign, that.
Won both games.
Yeah.
And
you said he got a worldie, didn't you?
He got a worldie to basically...
nice, that,
it was 1-0 and then he got the second
So you didn't have to suffer a Spurs playing today,
No.
and your son got a worldie.
And I've just come from watching my beautiful daughter Alice perform in her PQA, the Paul and Quirk Academy. They do like
Pauline Quirk?
Yeah.
The actress?
The actress.
Yeah, okay.
They have like a little showcase they do in Bishop Stortford. It was very good. So I've come here. I'm feeling good. And Spurs haven't ruined my weekend. So I'm in a very upbeat mood to take your calls on 03717 22 3344 because Spurs, they're out the FA Cup with nothing to do with it. None of our business. So I get to just watch it and enjoy the magic of the Cup. And we just...
Well, at least we had some magic today. It was starting to look a little bit predictable, wasn't it?
But it was good to see, like you said, Port Vale and Southampton through to the quarterfinals. Port Vale, what a story.
Yeah, massive. And unfortunately, Fulham going out today. 9 changes he made.
Your team.
Bit of a blow, that one. We'll talk about that later.
Very Fulham, though, isn't it? They had such a great result against us at Craven Cottage, and they lose to West Ham, get bummed out of the Cup. Very inconsistent, Fulham.
Yeah, I don't know the reason for that. I mean, obviously today there was a lot of changes, but as you say, in the league, they've sort of had an up and down season, but, you know, still pretty good. Oh, I expected them to win today, though.
And Pards, I've got to pull you
My
on
old team, Southampton.
I've got to pull you on it. Asterix. What's been going on? What have you been annoying the Arsenal fans for?
I've been trying to keep out of the way of Arsenal fans. It's not easy, you know.
Laura Woods went for you, mate.
Laura Woods.
I love Woodsy.
I love Laura. Listen, there's no beef between... You've got to have two people to have a beef, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I ain't got no beef with Laura, but... Yeah, I mean, when...
Apparently your nickname's Alan Asterix Pardew now.
I said it as a sort of cheeky comment about the way, you know, and obviously it was a tough watch to watch him against Brighton.
Yeah.
There was plenty of tricks going on, etc., etc. So I was a bit frustrated, but, you know, I didn't really expect the reaction. And, you know, one of the loves of my life, Laura Woods, is to come across so hard on me.
So
you have to take it. That's the point of being what we do.
Absolutely.
You got to, you know, call it as you see it sometimes. And it's a tough watch. And, you know, I want Arsenal to be remembered this year for, like, you know, how many trophies are they going to win? They've got 4 competitions.
And they're doing...
And they're favourites in 2 of them, for sure.
And that brings us on nicely to talk about the Champions League, of course. The big games this week. We'll be previewing them as well during the show. We've got a jam-packed show. Of course, we've got to mention the Old Firm today. Overshadowed.
Sad pictures from coming up from out there.
That is the most emotional derby in British football, isn't it?
I would say so. Have you been?
I never have. I'd like to experience it just to hear the noise.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of times, and
because yourself originally managing Newcastle,
yeah,
that derby is incredible with Sunderland.
And obviously, you know, it's a good place to scout if you're a Newcastle manager because those games are very, very important in terms of how a player's going to deal with that kind of tension, etc., which is obviously most Newcastle games are very similar. So. But it was sad to see that today because they seem to have had a good lid on it, don't they? You know, they've kept it, good. They kept the fans away. Then they brought them back, and everything's been going along pretty smoothly. But today, unfortunately, it sort of got the better of everybody.
Absolutely, and obviously we don't condone that kind of behaviour.
And Celtic went obviously won on penalties in the end, so it's always desperate to lose the penalties, isn't it? You always think you're that close.
I believe we'll be hearing from both the Celtic and the Rangers manager as well during the show as well. So much to get through during the show. And, of course, the phone lines are now officially open. 03717 22 3344 is the number. We'd especially love to hear from a Port Vale and Southampton fan after huge wins today. So I'm throwing that out right now just to let you know.
Robbie Williams.
Yeah?
Robbie. Come on, Robbie. Give us a call.
Port Vale, Southampton fans, give us a call. Also, just to give you a little heads up, the Grassroots section is back this weekend. Normally we do it on international breaks or FA Cup. If you've had a son, daughter, niece, nephew, grandson, granddaughter, whatever, playing football this weekend and you'd like to share the joy of their performances.
And we'll take voice notes too.
We will take the voice notes, and that number, of course, is 03717 22 3344. If you was proud of your child. Again, even if they lost this weekend and you're really proud of their performance, you feel they've done something you want to talk about, this is your platform. You can do it on the world's biggest sports station on 03717 22 3344. But soon we'll be talking more about the FA Cup, all those games, the Old Firm, and thank God I don't have to talk about Tottenham. This is talkSPORT.
Honestly, today, can you beat today? You went to win hell of a beat to the Europa League champions. Honestly, the Europa League champions, Beyonce, chicky, can you chicky? You went to win hell of a beat the big cockerel. Honestly, the big cockerel, saving by the stadium. There's that signing. Where is he? Can you here's that signing? You went to win hell of a beat the Morgan Gibbs White signing. What happened to that one? Where's he gone? Can you beat Morgan's White? You went to hell of a beat to the Williams signing. Big Edge. Do me a favour. Can you me Big Edge? You went to win hell of a beat Big Edge. AJ Tracy, Seven Sisters train station. Adele, 3-point lane. There is to do. Jamie Horror, you went to one hell of a beating. Ticking. Adele. Chicking. Adele. Chicking.
All right.
Chicking. Adele. You went to one hell of a beating.
Crestfallen.
Adele.
I'm crestfallen.
Chicking. Adele.
Hello.
Chicking. Adele.
Hello.
Chicking. Adele.
Hello.
Chicking. Adele.
Hello.
Chick.
All right.
Adele.
Come on.
Adele.
Spurs.
Hello.
What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? It's the worst Tottenham side I've ever seen in the Premier League. It's the worst team I've ever seen ever.
Good evening, and it is a Sunday night here on talkSPORT with me, Madge, and him over there, Alan Asterix Pardew. It's his new name. I can't believe I've got Arsenal fans going, go on, Madge. I'm glad you pulled Pards on the Asterix. Imagine that. It's got so bad. Arsenal fans are in my side. Lots of people getting involved already in the grassroots football. Thank you very much for your messages. Don't forget, let us know how your son, daughter, granddaughter, niece, nephew, whoever it is that you want to big up today, how they got on. Leave the names. Don't necessarily have to say the score, but yeah, shout out whoever you want. We're going to do that today, as well as hear from some very elated fans. So let's start. We've asked for it. I thought it might take a few moments of the show. Straight away, we've got a Port Vale fan and a Southampton fan.
Let's have them.
So let's go straight to Richard, who's a Southampton fan. He's at the game today. How are you, Richard?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you two?
Well, not as good as you, because that's what the FA Cup's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a good game. The thing that I don't understand, though, is everyone's going on about how many changes he's made when they were just poor. All over the park, they were poor.
Well, I mean, when you look at the names he had out there, Reed, Kearney, Bob, Smith-Rowe, Chiwezi, who's done very well of late coming off the bench, Muniz, Anderson, the centre-back. They had, proper players, Session. It wasn't like, the squad of a Premier League team now gives you that right to put out a pretty decent team. I mean, so did they look like they had no cohesion, or what did it look like to you?
They looked like a championship team. The atmosphere was like a League One team, and the players, as soon as you got near them, fell over and rolled around like they'd been shot.
Oh, okay.
So do you reckon Southampton just wanted it more today?
I think if you look at it from a parcel, not like Pardew is, every challenge, we wanted it, the fans wanted it. I've never been to such a quiet ground. Now, we normally speak to Jamie, we travel to every home and away game from Cornwall, and I would say that is the deadest atmosphere we've seen this year.
Wow.
You know what?
Sunday by the river, it sounds like, doesn't it?
Mm.
Sometimes, when you expect, when you got a team coming and it's from the Championship, you expect to roll them over. Maybe it was that mode.
Yeah, well, currently 8th in the Championship, Southampton. They're now in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup.
Yeah, and a decent season.
Decent season.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Port Vale fan that we asked for. We've got Paul. How are we, Paul?
Brilliant, Madge.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon.
Love that.
Lovely speaking to you. What a day. What a performance. I'm going old school. From number 1 to number 11, they were absolutely superb to a man. It was, what a day. I think the better team won. And we just showed that FA Cup grit and determination on a pitch from the 90s. It was proper FA Cup football. Absolutely loved it. And my old man is he's 66, 67. He wasn't even born the last time we got in the quarterfinals of the Cup.
Oh,
Magic. It's unbelievable.
Lovely. Yeah. And, Sunderland made the least changes too. What about that for respect? They only made 2 changes today.
Yeah, we saw the lineup before the game and we saw, okay, they've made they've got 9 players who played against Leeds in the week when they won 1-0. So we looked at that and we thought, okay, this is going to be a tough afternoon. I mean, it was always going to be a tough afternoon anyway, but their bench was quite weakened, so we knew that. Then we looked at our side, and we were missing 3, 4, 5 good players. And I thought, yeah, okay, I'd have a ticket bet on us to win. But at that point, I thought, it's not going to happen. And we just come out from the first minute to the last. Our lads did not want it. And I was watching it from the back of the stand behind the goal. And they were just left back to full back, to centre back, to right back, to keeper. And they were taking like 3, 4 minutes. It was dull, boring Premier League football. They were making 3, 4 minutes to try and cut us open. And we just said, you know what, you can do that all day long. And when we get the ball, we'll get it forward, we'll get it down the channels, we'll get the wingers, the pace, and we'll go for it. To be fair, we got the set piece, we got a set piece goal. Yeah. The better side won. We were brilliant.
The celebration from the goal was great as well. I love the little shrug of the shoulders. It's like, hey, look what we've done. Obviously, it's been a really difficult season for you this year. But the magic of the cup, to get to the quarterfinals, if you do end up going down, how would you reflect on this season if you can manage? Imagine if you get to the semi-final.
The thing is, Mad, right, it's our 150th year.
Yeah.
And it's been an absolutely diabolical year.
Yeah.
We've been through hell and back this year, and it's not been good. Darren Moore probably stayed on maybe 2 months too long. I think the fans wanted him gone. The football was turgid. It was no good. And John Brady's come in, and I won. After 3 or 4 games, I thought, oh my, what have we appointed here? But this last 6 games, we've gone 6 unbeaten. We look a team who were organised. Not just that, we look a team who were like, we're fighting for every ball. I watched Wrexham and Chelsea last night. That Wrexham side was superb, fighting for every ball.
They were.
And that's what they'll give you today.
Yeah.
They wanted it. And you get 20, 30, 40, 50 million pound players on 50 grand, 100 grand a week. Come to Vale Park on that pitch. They've looked at that pitch today. They didn't want it. And I was listening to the local radio on the way home. And apparently, there was a couple of the players who were overheard saying, I'm not sure about this today.
The margins between Championship and Premier League are not massive. And if you get enough, commitment out of the team, and there's that much more hunger on that playing surface, then you can easily topple a Premier League team. The magic moments don't arrive for Premier League teams if they're not mentally right. So, you've done the job. That's what you had to do when you're the home team. So, I mean, who do you fancy in the semi? You got a favourite who you'd like?
Quarters,
sorry.
Again, sorry. Me and my old man, we were talking about this on the way back. Now, I think in the 2020-21 season, we got Man City away in the 3rd round, and we were all buzzing. We took 9,000 there, and it was when they had the likes of David Silva, Aguero, and they played a pretty decent side, to be fair. And we lost 4-1, but we did equalise at one point. Yeah, through Tom Pardew, the legend that he is. But I don't want them again, because if we'd have won that today in the 3rd round, in the 4th round, you say, do you know what? Let's get a big tie, let's get some money, let's go to the next, let's lose, but we've made £1 million.
Paul, what about Port Vale Southampton? It's got a ring to it, that, hasn't it?
At home.
Yeah, do you know what?
Getting greedy.
I tell you what, because on that pitch, Southampton, as we all know, their manager loves to play with the ball on the deck. And like Sunderland today, you just cannot keep doing it. You can't keep doing it. And on this pitch, I don't really want Man City up here, because I think Man City home or away will drub us. End of story. Yeah. Arsenal home and away will drub us. Not drub us, but we'll lose. Arsenal have already beaten us in the League Cup this season, 2-0. But that was under Darren Moore. We didn't really have a go. But do you know what? Southampton at home, Leeds at home. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind Liverpool at home. Let's see if they fancy it.
Yeah, do you know, like you said, it's difficult on that pitch, isn't it? Brilliant. Thank you very much, Paul. Great call. Love that. You can hear how excited he is.
He is, yeah. It's brilliant.
This is what we
And their 150th year. It's amazing, isn't it? Those little stories that come out of the FA Cup, they're always great.
They've still got a few games in hand in the league as well. So hopefully they can stay up there. Yeah. Such a prestigious, legendary club, Port Vale, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, Pardew, just quickly, before we have a short pause, why is there so many changes in these FA Cup games? Like, what is it, and fans, have they got the right to be angry at the amount of changes? It just ruins the fluidity of the team, surely.
Well, I'll give you an example of a couple of examples, but I'm just going to read these out. Man City made 10 changes, Chelsea 9, Arsenal 9. Obviously, they got massive squads. Fulham made 9 changes too, though. Sunderland only made the 2 and got beat. And Leeds made 9. There's a couple of reasons why you do it. I mean, most of the season, you've got a squad of players of 22, 24. They don't all play, of course, but they get little sort of cameos as substitutes. They might get 5 minutes. You might actually use a player for the last minute, i.e. to run the clock down, just to seal the game. He never feels brilliant about that. I've been in that position myself and been that substitute. So you have to give them a payback at some point. So some of this is a bit of payback to those players' loyalty who have earned you points or have sealed wins for you, and to give them an opportunity. You're also under a massive pressure from the academy director. He wants to highlight a couple of young players, that there's a pathway, so that when we are signing 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, they can see that there's a chance to play in the first team. So there's that pressure. You've got agents who are desperate for their players to play. They're giving you pressure. But probably the most important, biggest pressure is from the group themselves. The first team want to see their mates play. So at some point, you've got to make some changes to sort of keep the group cohesive. So that is why in cup competitions, whether it be Europa League, Conference League, League Cup, FA Cup, you get changes. And it really is a balancing act. You don't ever want to put a team out to lose. I don't think any manager today made 9 changes. Essentially, like Pep jumping for joy yesterday, 10 changes. It's a real bonus if you can make those changes and win. It's like a big, the group just goes, wow, like we're all together. Obviously, if you lose,
can have an opposite effect on it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Keep those calls coming into us on 03717 223344. That is the number. Don't forget you can WhatsApp voice notes as well. I can see those in front of me right now. So I'm going to put my little call to action to the nation. I want some grassroots football voice notes now on 03717 223344. Send us your voice notes of how your son, daughter, niece, nephew, grandson, granddaughter, whoever it is, got on today. And we will try and play those during the show at some point today. Imagine Pards, it is the final word.
Has the hiring of Edu destabilised the best season in a generation at Nottingham Forest? And how much responsibility does Evangelos Marinakis have to take for it? We understand that he's been told to stay away from the City ground, pending a termination of his contract at the end of the season. I know that Forest fans will be reluctant to criticise Marinakis, but is this a mess of his own making? Because he had a manager who was very successful, almost took them to the Champions League. He started to interfere, and all of a sudden they ended up dropping down eventually into the Europa League, but then they lost to Nuno Espirito Santo very quickly. So is this got to be on Marinakis' shoulders?
Of course it is. And do you blame Nuno Santo when you've got a sporting director coming in and probably not giving you a say on any players that you're bringing in? What do you expect as a manager? And if you speak to the older generation of managers, they'll say, what? Someone's telling me what players are coming in, and I'm going to
That is the way of the world now, though.
I know, but then is that fair as a manager? Like we said in previous shows, sporting directors should be coming on and doing press. You're the one bringing in the players. The manager's doing the best they can with these players. They might have wanted 10 other players that you have said no to. Some of the players that they brought in Nottingham Forest, Douglas Luiz on loan didn't work. Zinchenko on loan didn't work. Amari Hutchinson, 37.5 million. Only one Premier League goal in 22 appearances. McAtee, 30 million. Hasn't worked. Ndoye hasn't worked. Bakwa hasn't worked.
The Six Nations, where giants do battle and legends are made. Epic sports which demands an epic voiceover every time. And actually has an interesting story as well. It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. The other home nations were a bit jealous, wanted in on the action, and after England played Wales in 1882, they all decided to hold an annual festival of international rugby, or the Home International Championship, which kicked off a year after. Now, the first decade was dominated by England and Scotland until Wales finally won in 1893 and Ireland a year later. After years of dipping in and out of the championship, France was invited to join full-time in 1910. But because France isn't a home nation, they had to give it a rebrand and settle on the Five Nations. But France were actually kicked out of the tournament in 1931. They were accused of paying players when rugby was still strictly an amateur sport. They had to wait years to be let back in. But after World War II, the Five Nations resumed. Didn't always run smoothly though, like in 1973 when all 5 teams won 2 matches and lost 2 matches. Now, because they didn't do points difference at the time, they just decided that everyone was the champion. It's like trying to keep kids happy, you know, the whole, you're all winners. In the years following, other teams in Europe started to get better at rugby and actually got to a stage where they were regularly beating teams in the Five Nations. In 1997, Italy beat Scotland, France and Ireland home and away. So 2 years later, the Five Nations invited Italy in, creating the Six Nations as we know it. In recent years, there have been calls to expand the tournament further to other European teams. Georgia and Portugal have been prime candidates to join of late. It's also been suggested there could be 2 tiers with promotion and relegation to promote growth of the sport in Europe. But the existing nations are a bit reluctant. So for now, it looks like the Six Nations, or Six Nations, or Sei Nazioni, is here to stay.
Good evening and welcome to the Final Word Phone with me, Majestic, and former Crystal Palace player and manager Alan Pardew. The magic of the FA Cup returned today with wins for Port Vale and Southampton against Premier League opposition. But it was joy for Leeds against Norwich. If you've been to any of those games, we'd love to hear from you. Later we'll be discussing, stand by for your radios and TVs for that, and we'll be talking about football tactics. Well, who else would know better about football tactics than a former Premier League manager? So pick up your phones and call 03717 223344 to air your views on the national radio. That is talkSPORT, yeah, to the nation. We are the only place we talk about this kind of stuff on radio right now. 03717 223344. Right now, let's talk about the events up in Scotland and a highly charged Old Firm game in the Scottish Cup. Celtic were victorious on penalties, but the focus, unfortunately, will be on the events after the game, with fans from both sides swarming the pitch at Ibrox. We're now joined by David Tanner, who was reporting on the game for talkSPORT. Thanks for joining us, David. Oh, can we hear David?
No David.
I think David's muted himself, but hopefully we can get him back in a moment's time. We'll come back to David in just a moment's time. Parr, just quickly on that rivalry between Rangers and Celtic. You know, for so long they've been trying to work out how to do it properly because they had the fans removed before, didn't they? And now having fans, we need the fans there because that intensity of the atmosphere is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But how can they do it better? What do they need to be doing?
Well, you know, I think that will come in that investigation. It sounds like they're going to have a full-blown investigation into how that sort of evolved.
Well, let's find out from David because he's now back with us.
Okay.
David, how are we?
Well, I'm in a state of shock after what I saw at Celtic at Ibrox Park earlier on today. I think we have to make at this point clear that this isn't a reflection on Scottish football.
No.
It's a reflection on the supports of Celtic and Rangers and a small fraction of those supporters, the so-called ultras. It's not the rank and file Celtic or Rangers supporters. It's this subgroup that has grown up in recent times, a subculture, if you will, the ultras. They can't behave. They do what they want, when they want, where they want, and how they want it. And they have no regards for other supporters, for safety, or for the law of the land. And I welcome the Scottish FA's quick response to this by announcing an investigation. The investigation has to have teeth and it has to take action where it's required, because what we saw today has been coming for a long time for all of those of us who've been watching these daft wee boys with face masks. And so it's no surprise to me that it happened. It's a shame that it happened today in such a high-profile match, but something has to be done about it by the clubs and by the authorities, because this cannot happen again. But it has been coming. Don't be in any doubt about that.
Why do you feel it's been coming, David? Is it, of course, the last Old Firm game finishing a little bit of controversy? Is it stuff on the pitch as well, or is it just the fact that, this, like you said, this so-called group of ultras, it's just been bubbling away for like you said, for a long time now?
Majestic, that's a terrific question, because it's nothing to do with what happens on the football pitch. Most of the times these groups are making a din that in no way is affected by the ebb and flow of what happens on the football pitch. It's all about them. Look at us. Look at these tifos. We've got a boy with a drum. We're shouting and chanting. Boring. And they can't behave. The pitch invasions are becoming quite commonplace now. Some of the players need to take a look at themselves when they've gone into the crowd after scoring goals. There's no excuse for that. Every time it happens, I quietly say, or sometimes I'll say on social media, every time they do that and the crowd spill on, it's dangerous for the people who are being, when the spill is happening, but also where does this go next? We saw in the Scottish Cup final about a decade ago here when Hibs had a historic, wonderful win against Rangers. All the Hibs supporters came onto the pitch. Now, the ones who went on to party, it was a tense moment, but there were others who went across the halfway line into the Rangers end of the stadium, and that's when things got spicy there. So we saw similar scenes there. We have to keep the fans in the stands. The pitch is for the players. The stand is for the supporters. The players shouldn't be in the stand, and the supporters shouldn't be on the pitch. It's pretty simple. I feel really sorry for the police in all of this, because they have had to watch on and try and manage these idiots while the clubs have indulged them for over a decade now. The police in the UK police the country by consensus. In other words, they have to agree. People have to agree to obey the law of the land. And these people choose not to obey the law. They bring in their explosive devices, these pyros, these ridiculous phrases that I see adult morons tweeting about. No party, no pyros, or no pyros, no party. Grow up. They're dangerous. There's a child burnt at a game recently because some idiot threw one of them in their direction. It has to stop. There's been a breakdown in behaviour in a very small segment of the supporters at Celtic and Rangers. They're beginning to spread into other clubs in Scotland. I don't know about England as well. You can maybe update me on that. But it has to stop now. It has to be nipped in the bud. And the face masks that we're all wearing today make it difficult for the cops and the clubs to identify who they are. That you might consider that side of things was pre-planned. It was the Rangers supporters had face masks on, some Celtic. But listen, at the start of today, which was an extended Old Firm clash, there were videos doing the rounds in the press box at Ibrox of Celtic supporters bursting in the disabled entrances without tickets, and I saw a lot of them heading straight to the front of the stand where the so-called Green Brigade, the Ultras, were housed today. They didn't have tickets for the game, and they didn't have any right to sit in those seats. So the Celtic supporters, the decent supporters who had tickets for those seats, were displaced, so they might not have been able to get a seat at all. That's the sort of chaos at away games in particular that Celtic and Rangers supporters, the decent supporters, have to put up with. And I've no idea why the clubs have done nothing about this over many years. Maybe they like the noise. Maybe they think it turns away games into home games for them and it gives them a sporting advantage. It needs to stop now. Stop it right now.
David, you've said some brilliant stuff there. I think sometimes as well, there's something to look at. There's probably a deeper sort of society-based thing here as well with some of these disgruntled young men, but it's obviously we're not talk radio. It'll be a whole other show. But thank you very much for joining us, David. Brilliant stuff there from you. And sorry you had to see that and spoil such a great atmosphere of an Old Firm. Pards, it's just inevitable those kind of things are going to happen unless, you know, tougher sanctions are put in place. But as David said there, with face masks, how are you going to identify anyone to ban anyone? Yeah, it's very, very difficult. And of course, you know, Ultras have spread into the British game completely because of, you know, at Crystal Palace, we have a section there called the Ultras. They're actually pretty well behaved, I would say, and like really try to support the crowd. I think the leadership of those Ultras is very, very important. If you get the wrong people kind of leading that group, it can turn toxic very quickly. So, and that's what it looks like has happened at Rangers and Celtic today, and really disappointing scenes. Do you feel like we are heading towards going back to the mid-'80s where sort of... Oh, I certainly hope not. And, you know, and when you think about, you know, the sort of coverage that we can get now, i.e. police coverage with CCTV, et cetera, mobile phones, you like to think they, you know, with a little bit more investment, maybe from the clubs, you might need to, because obviously the police are complaining about the funding from the Premier League. There's still that big argument about policing stadiums in the Premier League, et cetera, how much they pay. They want the Premier League to pay a lot more. So all of that comes into it, I think, of trying to keep a little bit of a lid on some of the more extreme fans that are involved in these groups. I'm going to throw something out here as well, which could be a completely wild take. But do you feel as well, perhaps, with the sort of the way football's become so corporate now, these maybe normal fans who are just working class people who can't necessarily afford to go to games anymore because it's so expensive, can find themselves wrapped up in these so-called sort of ultras and firms because they still want to feel a part of their club, but they don't have necessarily... Because you know, you see it sometimes. Some of these fan bases aren't even going into the stadium because they don't even have a ticket, as David mentioned there. Do you think there could be something to be said by that? I think that's a little bit of a reach. Yeah, that is, you know, it's. I would suggest that, you know, it's something that needs to be policed, not just by the police but by clubs as well. You know, they've got enough staff. We pay them, particularly in the Premier League, have enough money to kind of infiltrate and kind of calm it down or try and find the major kind of influencers, because, you know, that is one of the big issues, isn't it? People who are leading online and stuff, you know, and horrible sort of messages that are unpoliced. And internet companies are always in court all the time. They still are now. 03717 223344. If you was at the Old Firm derby today, if you was at Ibrox today, we normally get a lot of Scottish fans on a Sunday night. If you was at Ibrox today, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what the atmosphere was like, and then when it turned sour, what that was like as well, and you know how scary it was. You can see from David's reaction there, he's very upset with. It looked. I mean, you know, just looking at the pictures that are coming out, the stewards didn't look like enough of them. It looked like there didn't look a lot of police presence. You know, especially maybe for such a big game. In circumstances like that, and it's a cup game, which is always going to end, you know, with a massive disappointment. Yeah, exactly. 03717 223344. Majestic and Alan Pardew on Sunday Night talkSPORT.
So it makes it more interesting, I think, Simon, for fans of other clubs. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
If it was all to finish today and this was in operation now,
you'd go way down to 17th of Norwich in the league with a chance to get into the 8th spot. That's what you do.
Right.
You take 60. You take
it opens up. Yeah.
You take 66% of the league as it sits now. 18 clubs in this league could have a reasonable shout to make a claim for getting 8th spot, because there's 11 games to go in the conventional season. There's 6 points between Derby in 8th and Norwich in 17th.
Right.
And those games, and when you get running at the business end of a season, it really does change the dynamics of how people play. All of a sudden, you've got 66% of the league having something involved. Then you've got the other 25%, or 35%, sorry, sort of going to the Gabby Bongle arithmetic school, the other 34%, which would be fighting for not staying in the division. So you've got constant jeopardy in a league, which actually reminded me when I was over in America looking at the MLS and how they construct their leagues and how many teams get an opportunity to play in their playoffs and participate in outcomes for themselves. They have something like 60 or 70% of the teams in a league any given season that could feature in a playoff scenario.
Right.
So it's all
Does
about...
it affect the quality? There's a message coming through there. You're telling me that 8th could end up going to the Premier League. Surely, that ain't have to good in terms of the quality of the club that's going to go up.
Well, there's nip and tuck. More often than not, when you finish 6th in the league, and we went up as a team that finished 6th, there was the points total, I think West Ham finished behind us and Wigan finished behind us in the league, and they were like a point difference. So tell me there's a point difference between 6th and 8th. Pack it in.
Good evening. This is the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, and former Crystal Palace West Ham Newcastle manager Alan Pardew. Before we go to our calls, let's hear what the managers of the old firm had to say about the unsavoury scene, starting with Celtic boss and one of our colleagues here on talkSPORT, Martin O'Neill.
I think there was some sort of fracas. Somebody tried to get on the field, and I think I don't know. All I saw was there was a bit of a scrum down at the bottom, and as you say, it's maybe it does taint proceedings, but I think that I think there's an element of self-protection in that one. So if that's the case, please, I'm making judgments here on things that I only half saw. To me, it was a proper old firm game, and that's in that sense. And but we'll see what develops.
I'm honest. I was not on the pitch in this moment. I didn't see it until now. I heard just that there was something on the pitch. If this is the case, I think we all know about all the emotional situation after a game. Nobody likes to see this. I think it was a great atmosphere. 120 minutes, and I think this should be like this. All the other things should be not in the stadium or around football.
That was Rangers boss Danny Rowe and Celtic boss Martin O'Neill with their thoughts on the unsavoury scenes at the old firm. The latest news is police in Scotland says arrests have been made following the game and condemned the despicable display. Let's...
Very difficult for the managers to speak after the game about an incident like that when they've, not seen any... You can't really see anything as the manager. You're getting your players in. You haven't really seen any of it unfold. And then you've got to go into a press room and ask really sort of awkward questions. Very difficult.
Got to sort of talk the company talk almost.
Really, yeah.
Let's go over to a Rangers fan. Sean joins us. How are we, Sean?
How are you, my friends?
Yeah, not bad. Obviously, a tasty old firm. Didn't go your way in the end. Plenty of chances, though, for Rangers.
Yeah, definitely, plenty of chances, but it's another one Danny's failed to win, so there's big questions need to go to the manager, but I actually thought Rangers were going to win the game today. I was quite confident going into it, but I don't know, we just didn't take our chances, and the big questions need to go to the manager because he's been heavy backed by the 49ers, and I fear if Danny, I don't think Rangers are going to win the league. I think Hearts will win the league. And unfortunately, in Scotland, if you're a Rangers and Celtic manager, you don't win a trophy, it's more likely you will get the P45.
Pards, that's the thing with those two big clubs in Scotland. He's right, isn't
he? Yeah, I mean, there's a big pressure. You know, it's a great opportunity to be manager of one of those two clubs because obviously you've got a great chance of winning trophies, has been proved over the years by the managers of those clubs. But when you've got when you've got this runner of the Hearts, backed by Tony Bloom, giving them a real lot of competition this year, and as you quite rightly saying, they look favourites, don't they, Hearts, at the moment?
Absolutely. Quick one, Sean, in terms of players, right, because obviously I'm a Spurs fan, Mikey Moore's been on loan with you. How's he done for you guys?
Mikey Moore, at the start under Russell, he looked like he was a wee bit struggling, but see, over the last couple of months, Mikey Moore's been absolutely one of Rangers' best players.
Really?
And if Rangers can extend that young boy's loan option, I would definitely take him at extended. I would love to sign him permanent. It'd probably cost about 20+ million. But Mikey Moore's a player, and I actually think that boy's gone places. I think Spurs have got a real great young player in their hands. And the fortunate thing about your club, sorry to say, if say Spurs go down, I know you don't like that mentioned, but if Spurs go down, Rangers would be the best option for the boy, because the boy, at least Rangers could give him European football. I know it's Scotland standards, but Scottish standards, it's not the best, but you'd rather...
Well, to be fair, Sean, like things like the Old Firm derby is exactly the kind of games we wanted him to play in, so we could experience that tension. And like you're not gonna get a more hostile atmosphere, Pards, than an Old Firm.
Well, if a young lad can't learn from that experience, wow.
Brilliant, cool. Thank you very much. Let's go to Craig. He's also a Rangers fan. Good evening, Craig.
How are we doing, guys? You okay?
Yeah, not bad at all. Do you echo the sentiments of what Sean was saying there in terms of questions need to be asked of the manager now?
Yes, definitely. I wouldn't mind seeing Pards coming out of retirement and taking that role, to be honest.
Tell you what, Pards, up there, I think you do a good job.
I think he would do a good job. He's also got that passion about him as well, that I think if you're an Old Firm manager, you need that as well. Danny Rowe, for me, doesn't look as if... I know he's young in the game and he's trying to find his way, but his decision-making substitutions are absolutely terrible in the past two Old Firm games. I was there today and I was there last week, and Mikey Moore ran the show last week for the first 75, 80 minutes, and he ran the show today for the first 75 minutes, and he took him off. Every Rangers fan were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He had that boy on toast. Oh, and the boy was booked, his Scales was booked. So you need your players coming on, the ones that got to do and take people on. We've got two, a left back and a right back that's been yellow carded. And you've got a player like Mikey Moore that can turn on a sixpence and cause problems for them. But nobody could understand why he's done it. And his substitutions are not just the two Old Firm games. I would say the past 5 or 6 games Rangers have played at Motherwell, Hibs and all that. It's very defensive and it's not going for the kill, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When you need that killer goal.
I mean, the one thing I say, I always think, the top managers, you really earn your call on match day. Okay, you can put the tactical decision-making process in place, and the team know exactly what's required of them. But those changes to game patterns and what the opposition have changed to are so important, and they win and lose your games.
Absolutely brilliant, cool. Thank you very much, Craig. The Rangers fan. Now, quickly, Craig, I want to find out about some of the unsavoury scenes we saw. What did you make of what happened today? And do you think the police could have done more?
I sit in the Govan rear, and I'm close to I'm on the side opposite the main stand, which is closer to where the Union Bears are on that side. And I think before the game, there's a few reasons. This is why a lot of people didn't want the full allocation again. Because it's a powder keg game, whether it's a league game or a cup game. It's very hostile, there's a lot of emotion involved. And there's a lot of social media videos that's going online at the minute, and it's showing you Celtic fans entering the stadium without tickets, busting through the turnstiles. But the thing with the Police Scotland was, the Celtic, when Celtic scored the winning goal, listen, if you're a fan, you can handle an opposition player celebrating in front of you. You can handle that. But when you've got hundreds of fans entering the field of play, and the Police Scotland were letting them get closer and closer, so they started off behind the goal, and then they got up by the 18-yard box, and they looked as if they were making their way towards the halfway line. Now, at one point, you might have had about 20-odd Rangers fans from behind the Rangers goal that entered the play, but they started walking back off the pitch, and then you've seen more and more Celtic fans coming on, and then obviously that's when more Rangers fans start entering the play. But there was a few missiles thrown from the Celtic fans into the lower end of the Rangers crowd, which was close to the Celtic stand. And I think when you see that happening, I think people just obviously lose their mind a little bit and then feel as if, well, we need to kind of protect ourselves here. You know what I mean? I'm not condoning it, but you're like a sitting duck when you're in the stand, and then if things are getting thrown on you, and then you feel as if. But I think Police Scotland were bang out of order today. They could have stopped all that beforehand. They could have.
It definitely looked like from the pictures that it was understaffed. I mean, you know, obviously there will be a full investigation, I'm sure, but you know, just by looking from the camera shots, it looks like they needed a few more bodies around.
Well, we came out of the stadium, and you're walking by loads of police wagons, and there's about, say it's a 12-seater minibus wagon, and they're all just sitting there inside the wagon on the phone. They should have been inside the ground.
Yeah.
They should have been around the pitch. The also thing is, you're getting security that are there, but a lot of these security people, it's young boys, young girls, and minimum wage. They're not actual security guards. They're actually been put in there to do a job that the police should have been doing. So Police Scotland need to take a good look at themselves, to be honest, and I think they've caused a lot of that trouble today, to be honest.
Thank you so much. That's a great call, Craig, for the inside information there. Good to hear.
You know, and you go to these games, don't you? I mean, you go to Spurs, for example, and you see like the stewards.
Mate, in fairness to Spurs, I can't even get my bag into Spurs, and that annoys me. I told them I'm going to talkSPORT afterwards. I can't bring it in, and I have to leave it with Angry Matt. I'll leave my bag with Angry Matt.
Unfortunately, because of incidents in the past, the bags have to be, you know.
Yeah, but it's like you're allowed an A4 bag. I'm like, my laptop.
There's bag drops now, though, aren't there?
Yeah, but I ain't got time for that, Pards. I've got to be in. I've got to be out.
Look, you just play by the rules.
I don't like rules, Pards.
I'm talking about the rules. Anyway, I want to go back to my point. You know, those staff are on minimum wages. What are they expected to do? They're guiding you to the seat and telling you to sit down. But you don't expect them to stop people who are physically being harmful and want to get on the pitch, do you? You know, that's not they can't do that.
No, it's not fair. Listen, like you said, they're not being paid much money. You're not going to risk your life to stop at some point, you've got to go, it is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah.
You know, but hopefully we don't see more scenes like that. Let's turn the energy around in the show now, because it feels a little bit intense.
Yeah.
So we're going to get and enjoy our grassroots now, because we've seen the worst of the game in that kind of stuff
that
there.
Contrast.
Exactly. We need the contrast. So I'm going to push once again for those wonderful grassroots stories. We've got so many coming in. People winning cup finals today, coaching people.
Yeah, but it's time for cup finals, isn't it? You know, they are coming around. Mark.
Fans of yours that would love to have a shout out for their sons and daughters. So there's lots to go through.
Arsenal fans.
We
better edit them.
So the number is, if you quickly want to get into it now, because we're going to do some grassroots in a moment, is 03 717 22 333. It's Imagine Pards. It's Sunday night on talkSPORT.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The football club. It's unbelievable. The people in charge of this football club. One of the biggest clubs in the world. And an absolute mockery. We're a mockery of a football club that we've allowed this to happen.
Are you going down?
And the fans have had to accept
You're going down.
Chase, shut up. Don't ask me again. Seriously. Like, I'm trying to do a show here. I'm trying to have a say. And you're going to sit there and just try and mug me off for 2 hours. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it.
That's a question. No problem with me. It's not my fault you got beat tonight, is it? I won't play a centre off.
It's so bad.
There's no point up, Jake. Don't have a pop at me, mate. Right?
I'll have a pop at you if you're trying to mug me off.
No, I'm not mugging you off. I'm asking. It's a simple question. Are you going down? Are you?
I can't do 2 hours with you, Jace, if you're just going to be an idiot. I mean, how can I take you seriously? You've got an Ange mask on and a clown mask.
What about 3 hours?
I can't do 2 hours of calls with you. I can't do it. I can't do it. Just please.
It's not my fault. You're rubbish.
Please, like, for me, like, don't ask me that question again. All right? Just because.
What question?
All right. Look. I want to hear from Spurs fans. It's obviously a shocking. I'm genuinely crestfallen. Genuinely crestfallen. It's the worst I've ever felt.
Do you think you're going down? No, it's a different question this time.
Well, how's it a different question?
I said, are you going down? Or do you think you're going down? Do you think you're going down? Final word here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, and I say Premier League manager, not former, because I tell you what, I'd over you at Spurs in an instant, sir, over Igor Tudor. So,
well, I mean, Neil Warnock's gone back in at 77.
Hasn't he?
Giving him 17 years.
Yeah,
so there's plenty of time.
Loads of time.
And, Martin's 74.
Yeah. What age was Roy when he went back in for the final time at Palace? He was older, wasn't he?
Yeah, Roy, about 72, was he? 72?
Steadied the ship. Listen, experience.
Yeah, I am available.
He's available, yeah? And I'll be part of the backroom staff.
Yeah, exactly. Kit man.
Yeah. I think a kit man. I've been doing my work on the sideline.
Analyst.
Yeah, the
analyst stroke kit man.
With the kids' football and the selector in the changing room.
Yeah, very important.
It's a very important job.
Yeah.
It is Sunday night here on talkSPORT. Of course, the magic of the FA Cup continue today. Just to give you almost the classified results quickly. Port Vale 1, Sunderland 0. Fulham 0, Southampton 1. Leeds 3, Norwich 0. Wolves 1, Liverpool 3. Newcastle 1, Manchester City 3. Mansfield 1, Arsenal 2. Wrexham 2, Chelsea 4. And West Ham and Brentford tomorrow is live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m. So another great weekend of FA Cup football. And when we have the FA Cup or international football,
we like to spread some love and joy to grassroots football. So before I head to our very upbeat jingle, I have to say this because we've just had a message in here and it broke my heart, especially as a father. And a thank you to the person that sent it in. They've not left their name. Oh no, they have. It's Claire from the Fulham Women's Supporters Club. Thank you, Claire, from the Fulham Women's Supporters Club. And of course, on International Women's Day, this is just tragic. Just wanted to say, whatever your team's results today, can we share our sympathies to Oxford Academy goalkeeper Amelia Alpin, who collapsed and died at their academy game versus Fulham yesterday.
Oh,
only 15.
Shocking.
So sad. That's from Claire, from the Fulham Women's Supporters Club. So, mate, that's hit me, that has. Sending our deepest condolences to her family. But let's try and cherish life and bring some joy to those around the nation right now after that terrible news with some grassroots stories that you've been sending us, celebrating the beauty of grassroots football. Let's hear that jingle and let's celebrate life.
Grassroots football.
Your devotion should be to the people who started you off at a very early age, running your football team, getting the oranges, making sure you're there in time.
All skills learned in the park, jumpers for goalposts. And there's all that joy and the beauty of the game.
Pardew, what's the score? Pardew, what's the score?
From the parks and pitches from around the country, this is the Final Word Grassroots Football Results on talkSPORT.
Grassroots football results.
Absolutely, we love grassroots football on this show and we celebrate it when we can. And Pards, you've got some celebrations of your own.
I have, yeah. This was left because the name wasn't left, but the number ended 5451. Please could I give my under-15s a shout out for winning the local derby today. We're Belper Town Thunder and we beat Belper United, derby that was, 2-0 away with 11 players. Great day all round as Celtic 1-2. Happy days.
Now, we've got some voice notes as well. I'm going to throw to some voice notes. So let's hear from Hamza first.
Evening, Majestic and Alan. I listen to your show quite regularly whilst I'm on the road and wanted to do a shout out for my son's under-7s team who won. It was their first league game that they won. They won a friendly last week, so they've had back-to-back wins, but they've had a long, difficult season. They've kept at it, stuck at it as a team, and finally got a great 5-3 win against the Pudsey under-7s. So shout-outs to all the boys from the Yorkshire Amateurs under-7s that played today.
Love that. They turned it round.
And what a nice voice that man had.
Fantastic from Hamza.
Yeah.
And who else have you got, Pards?
This one ends 3334. Didn't leave a name. Please, can we have a shout out for the Hemel Aces girls under-11s for getting through to the quarter-finals?
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Great news there. And I want to go over to Dave, who left us a voice note.
Hello, Madge and Pards. It's Dave here from Essex. Just want to shout out my son's team, PCE under-8s, who are now 2 from 2 in the Festival Cup this season with a 10-3 victory today. My son bagged the goal. So, as you can imagine, I'm happy, but more happy for the team. Up the PCE.
I love that.
The Festival Cup.
Yeah. And Pards, you got another one for me?
Yeah, from Maxwell Winston. Hey, Maj and Alan, my son Max led his team to a cup final as the coach yesterday.
Oh, amazing.
And he's only 15.
Wow.
He's a big fan of Alan, so it'll be great to get a shout out.
Absolutely brilliant.
Good
and
for
let's
you. Well done,
finally
Max.
hear from Rob.
Hello, Majestic. My stepson, he plays for Aberfrau FC under 8s, and today they had a massive game against Llanfair PG under 9s. They took a real step up in quality against them, and they drew 2-2. The coach is great, and there's a real testament there to how good the team have developed since they started a couple of seasons ago. And there's a real bug around the island at the minute of Anglesey in North Wales, just showing really that grassroots football is on the up.
Love to hear that. And then we've got a special shout out for International Women's Day. Bromley Ladies FC versus AFC Greenwich Ladies. Over 1,000 recorded fans watching a well-fought game. Very proud of my daughter, Emily. She's the goalkeeper for AFC Greenwich. On the losing side, but the ladies gave their all from start to finish. Fabulous attendance for Tier 6 and some nice football played on both sides. Great to hear.
Yeah, Bromley are going places, that club.
Yeah, they
boys
are.
And men's team.
They are
yeah,
indeed.
Boys, men's team, ladies team.
And once again, from everyone here at talkSPORT, just sending our condolences to Amelia Alpin's family. It's so very sad. 03717 223344. Don't forget, if you've got your own grassroots story, maybe we'll do another bit of a section later on as well. So get those in. 03717 223344 is Madge and Pards talkSPORT.
I've got lots of Tottenham mates, and
mate,
they're devastated. They can't watch. They said I couldn't watch it last night. I'm not going to watch it. I can't watch it.
Seriously?
Yeah, they're getting to a stage where they're so nervous about going down, which I thought about 3 weeks ago. Oh, they'd be fine.
So did I, mate.
Now, with what I've seen from Forest, what I've seen from West Ham, they're banging it.
Right, I'm the same as you, mate, and I bet you
Leeds will be looking. Leeds have got to be
looking over their shoulder as well.
Leeds have got.
Solomon at Sunderland.
We said, they got Wolves at home now, but Wolves
they've picked up.
They're flying.
I was at they played well against Liverpool.
Unbelievable. And look, they've got plans tonight. You're doing the game tonight.
FA Cup, I'm out for the FA Cup, mate. Well, if like fans of most other clubs, you enjoy what's happening at Spurs right now, and you tune into the sports bar, then last night, by all accounts, was unmissable. I did hear a little bit of it, by the way. Jason was officially playing Keep Me Up with Jamie.
It's a simple question. Are you going down?
Yes.
We are the only team in the Premier League ever to bring in a new manager, to get a new manager bounce, and we get a worse bounce.
Okay, you get a new manager trounce, not bounce.
Like, I'm trying to do a show here, I'm trying to have a say, and you're going to sit there and just try and mug me off for 2 hours. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it.
So dare is to poo.
I'd actually take Big Ange.
Not a
It's got to that point. I would actually take Big Ange. I could do a better job. It is embarrassment. An embarrassment.
You're going down. Let's see, it's the last time.
Have we got like some trancey IB for bed to read Cheltenham? Are we taking Cheltenham to the raves? You can hear Alan Brazil raving to this. We literally have a trance bed for the Cheltenham reader. It is talkSPORT. Final word with me, Majestic. And enjoy complete coverage of the Cheltenham Festival on Racing TV, the only channel showing every race live. Racing TV are live on air from 9:45 every day of the festival. Turn it up a bit. Yeah. With over 32 hours of unmissable coverage. Join Racing TV for half price for an entire year. Head to racingtv.com/half price now. To celebrate Racing TV, we're giving away a pair of tickets to the Grand National Day at Aintree. Go to talksport.com/win to enter. 18 plus. T's and C's apply. Okay. Blow your whistle. It's Madge and Pards on the Sunday nights.
Raving. Was that a rave music?
It's trancey. That's very like trance, which was very big.
I do remember trance.
Yeah, late 90s.
Yeah, little bit of mist coming down from the DJ booth.
That's it. The old CO2.
Yeah.
Kevin and Perry Go Large. Yeah. Great film.
Can't see anything. What's going on here?
Apparently, Pards, according to this running order, which I might ignore, it says something about Spurs here. Now, Spurs haven't played this weekend. We're not in the FA Cup.
I think this is a distraction to get away from the Arsenal sort of pressure that we've had all week. Yeah.
Am I really doing this?
Well, listen, I think the Spurs are in such trouble. The performance against Crystal Palace was a real worry for Spurs fans everywhere. I've got a few pals like yourself, because I class you as a very big pal, who are very, very upset, and they don't really know where to get some hope. So I think from you, a little bit of hope, some sort of rallying call might go down well.
Well, Pards, it's now time for the Weekly Spurs. Let's now hear from my Inside Spurs co-host, Abby Summers, who spoke passionately the night after that defeat against Crystal Palace.
If someone from the board sat here watching us today, we could tell them what to do.
Leave.
No, but something needs to happen between now and Liverpool. Yeah, forget Atletico Madrid.
You need to get rid of Igor Tudor.
That's it.
You need to get rid of Igor
And at 10:25 on a Friday morning, by the time we're recording, he currently still is the Tottenham Hotspur manager.
Yeah.
And this, you said it before with Thomas Frank, we are sleepwalking into the Championship. Yeah? Oh my, we're not sleepwalking, we've got our eyes open with sleep paralysis, and Tudor talking about boats at the end of the bed. and honestly, look, can we get closer to Babby's face? Because getting closer to this tears. I think there's tears. Zoom in.
I'm actually trying to stop myself from crying. Like, it's just...
It is. It's bad. It's embarrassing. But I can't. I'm a Spurs fan.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Listen,
because
my DJ career started in Rudolph's, next to the Spurs
Love
ground.
Rudolph's.
Yeah, Rudolph's.
I
Yeah.
love Rudolph's.
Big up Tony Walker, right? My heart is in Tottenham. I remember winding up my dad one day saying to him, I'm going to support Arsenal when I was about 4. He threw me out the house. Said, no son of mine would support Arsenal. You know, I take my son there. You know, I've had some of the best moments with my best mates, when the Bilbao moment and stuff like that. This football club means more to us than what people know, and this is why we're such a banger.
Because we care, because it's our lives, it's everything.
So that is from the Inside Spurs podcast, which is available to watch now. So it's a twofold. If you're a Spurs fan, go watch it. If you are any other football fan around the world, come and have a laugh. Because that's what it seems so far. People are laughing at the downfall of Spurs, and it has to stop now, Pods. It stops now.
Well, I think the one criticism that, you know, when I speak to people who are Spurs fans, genuine Spurs fan, is that they don't feel the makeup of the team has the fight in it.
Yeah.
And that's a worry, isn't it?
Now, you've been a professional footballer, and I think, knowing your personality, I can't imagine you being someone who ain't got a bit of fight in him. So it wouldn't necessarily count to you. But as a professional footballer, if somebody was to question your fight in you, you look like the type of person I'll go, I'll show you. So these young lads now, what do they need? Right? You imagine you get given the job of Spurs manager tomorrow. What's the first thing you do?
I think it's very debatable at the moment where that squad is. There's a lot of young players there look very, very short of confidence. I'm not sure a stick is the right tool, if you know what I mean.
Correct.
I think it might be a little bit of a tickle here and there, and try and get a few of them feeling better about themselves, trying to pick them up to get a performance where they can deliver some technical quality to the pitch. Because if you look at them, okay, you could argue that they're working okay, right? That physically, they look like they're getting around, they're trying, but so devoid of confidence, so kind of like lacking in someone to do something special. You had a couple of moments the other day against Crystal Palace, and I thought, oh, okay, that Archie Gray done a couple of little bits, and I thought, oh, here we go. But then it just folded very, very quickly. And I know from my time at West Brom when the team was absolutely devoid of confidence, and it's very difficult to get a tune out of a group, and you really need to be all together. And at the moment, I'm not sure whether the new manager and all the changes has impacted in them in a negative way.
Do you think it would be worth having yet another change in the manager situation? Because he's been heavily criticised by even the likes of Tim Sherwood, etc. And a lot of people have said, Jamie O'Hara said on here as well, if he remains the manager, we will go down. And the reason why is because, one, he doesn't know the Premier League. And that's clear to see.
That's obvious.
You saw that because you did the game, didn't you?
No, but it was obvious. You know, it's obvious from his CV that he hasn't managed to.
Yeah, but even down to the fact of coming to Spurs and playing Pedro Porro at central right back of a back three, when we know Pedro Porro's weaknesses is the defensive part of his game. Going forward is where he's better, getting crosses in, etc. Do you think the board will be almost too stubborn or too proud to try and get someone in, or is there?
I don't see at the moment an upside to sacking him. I don't. Not when he's only. How long has he been there?
Yeah, but this is my thing, right? At the moment, and I'm going to say how I feel is Spurs are a laughing stock. I turn on talkSPORT. Jason Cundy's got a big Ange mask on for 2 hours. Absolutely. Jamie was so angry on that show, he walked out.
No, I actually bumped into him before he did the show, and I could tell he was, you know, it wasn't just for show.
I was speaking to him during the game. He was absolutely fuming, and you know what? Jamie is a passionate Spurs fan. He's a real Spurs fan. He's played for the club, you know, and he loves the club. And you know, it's so hard to watch right now because he'd love to be out there and try and fight for the team, you know, especially being an ex-professional. Then you look at even down to the fact of Big Ange on the overlap, showing like, mugging us off with what the club's about and stuff, and all these things that we know of already. Even this week with Gareth, and Gareth didn't really, you know, put the boot in, so to speak. No, Gareth Bell was on.
Gareth Bell, yeah.
And he said Spurs don't buy ready-made players. All the stuff that we know, but it just feels like at the moment we're being laughed at every section of. I feel like you need to sort of paper the cracks from within, so you don't let anything out. So you create a fortress. I don't think Igor Tudor can create a fortress at Spurs because he's not Spurs. Now, we keep talking about Harry. Tim Sherwood's put his hand up, said he'd go there. Les Ferdinand said he'd have a go. Teddy Sheringham was on drive with Andy Goldstein and Bentley the other day, said, you know, if they wouldn't call me, but if anyone to do with the club, to get in there, galvanise these players and create a bit of a siege mentality, because that is the only way Spurs are going to stay up.
The guy that you brought in is a guy that's what he does in Serie A. That's what he's done.
Yeah, but that's in Italy.
No, but I'm just sounding out.
Yeah.
You know, trying to put a balanced view on it. That's what I'm trying to do. In some of the managerial kind of tricks and traits that we have to galvanise a group, yes, possibly bring somebody else in, but I don't think, if I'm honest, he's had enough time. You know, he's had a guy sent off in the last game. You can't say that didn't impact the game. It did massively. So, for me, you run with him. And we still got a lot of points to pay for. What have we got? 9 games left.
Yeah, but
27 points.
He's had 3 games and lost 3 games, Pards. We've not even had the new manager bounce.
No,
we've had the opposite.
I'm very much aware of that. And I'm not trying to defend him, or I'm just trying to be a counterbalance to.
Oh, of course. I get that. But saying. I need to ask you something, what you think as a manager. Right now, our fan base are so disillusioned with this club.
That is definitely true.
Is that a problem for those players?
Yes.
Okay, so this fan base needs something to hold on to. Everyone's screaming out for Harry, right? Saying, get Harry Redknapp, and everyone is, right? The majority of Spurs fans, okay? So, for example, if they were to call out, and the fact that we've had a weekend off this week and you've got another 5-6 days until Liverpool, if they were to say, right, Harry Redknapp's in to take the Liverpool game, the bounce from the fans would be, okay, I can get behind this. So many of the fans are not getting behind Tudor. Now, my thing is, I can see a world in which this happens. We end up losing to Atletico Madrid in the Champions League this week.
Well, that's a difficult game. There's no doubt about that.
Simeone's team as well.
Of course.
At their place, right? Then you go to Anfield. And that will be 5 games on the spin with this manager, no win. He cannot continue after 5 games on the spin. Cheltenham's done. The week after, Harry Redknapp comes in.
So Harry wins the race Friday. I think
he wins the race Friday.
Jukebox, which wins Friday.
He wins Friday.
Comes in.
He comes in with 2 home games to play. One against Atletico Madrid and one against Nottingham Forest, which is going to be huge.
Game.
It's a 6-pointer.
Key game.
So this is where Spurs fans, my fellow Spurs fans, I speak to you. All this walking out of half-time stuff has to stop. Because right now, we need to be the 12th man for that club. And that can be important, right? In a relegation battle.
It's everything.
Because I tell you what, the Forest fans won't walk out. The West Ham fans will be backing their boys all the way to the end.
Of course.
The way that our players aren't built for a relegation scrap, Us as fans aren't. And we need to suck it up and understand we're in that battle with them. And I think, get behind the team now. But this comes down to the board and the club. You need to give us something we can get behind. And at the moment, Igor Tudor is not that guy. If we can get people into that club that know about the club and love the club as much as the fans and the players, and you go and get those 2 wins at home back to back, you can then go from there.
I don't think you need a new person to come in for that to happen, personally. I think you're absolutely right in terms of the Spurs stadium needs to change and the fans need to go and really tough it out. As upset as they are, just go and fundamentally support their team, no matter what happens. And that is going to be difficult, isn't it? For a fan base that's used to success, let's be honest. When I say success, I mean
not being in relegation battles.
Yeah, not, last year was a difficult year. I never could see this year being as bad as last year, albeit that you won the cup right at the end. I'm talking about the league program. I thought the league program would be way better. Unfortunately, that's not panned out. And now, as you say, the momentum shift to West Ham at the moment. If you speak to any West Ham fan, they genuinely believe they're staying up. And they're back.
Great winner.
I wouldn't say they're in love with the team, but they're right behind them. And that is dysfunctional at Spurs at the moment, isn't it? That's what you haven't got.
We haven't got that, and we need that. And I think it's a two-way street. We need to give some of the players need to give something back to us.
Of course.
We need to
it's always a two-way street.
And we need to reconnect with that, because I tell you what, if we don't, we will go into the Championship. And to those fans, might do us good going to the Championship.
No.
I'll tell you what, 21 years, was it, before Leeds got back to the...
But not only that, it's financial Armageddon, in terms of going down. No. This is the problem with the Premier League model and the Championship model. The gearing up for a Premier League campaign, not just like a team like Spurs, for a team that's got promoted like Sunderland, is enormous. So to go back down is such a blow. The parachute payment is just covering the bills. It's not giving you anything extra. No. You still got to sell your best. So for Tottenham, no. The answer is to stay in the division at all costs.
Spurs fans, give me a call, 03717 223344. Give us a text as well, or WhatsApp message on the same number. What do you think? What's your thoughts? That's what I think. I want to know what you think. Are you completely done? Do you think they don't deserve to be supported? But is this the time to turn up and be a true supporter of your football club? Is it time to, take the powers, walk with your chest out and just go, I'm going to be bulletproof and give some of that to the team?
And you got to turn up.
And turn up.
I mean, let's be honest, the Crystal Palace game, was a lot of fans stayed away, didn't they?
Yeah. Including myself.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to say that.
No, I did. I'll hold out. You know what? I looked at it, Paddy getting home late. I thought, you know what? I left my tickets empty.
But the players need you now.
They need us.
They need you.
They need
us.
Big
time.
And don't forget this big game against Atletico Madrid. We're in a relegation battle in the last 16 of the Champions League.
Can I just ask a quick question about Champions League games? How does that sell out that stadium? So your season ticket doesn't buy you a ticket for that game, is that correct?
I think standard season ticket doesn't buy you a ticket for that.
So this is a separate game, isn't it? So the people have got to come online
and they've
buy.
reduced it to a certain cap, so they try and get the numbers in. I think they've reduced the price.
This might be something where Spurs can give something back.
Exactly. We'll talk about that after the short pause. Don't forget, live from 8 o'clock on Tuesday evening, and Let's Go Madrid take on Tottenham in the Champions League round of the last 16, first leg, presented by the GOAT, Adrian Durham, commentary from Jim Proudfoot and former Benfica defender Scott Minto. Spurs fans, the lines are open, 03717 223344. The lines are open for you right now.
guys. David, good morning, mate. First
Good
of all,
morning,
how are
David.
you?
Morning, all.
David, here's a quick one for you, mate. I know we'll not be talking European football. We'll calm everything down. I want to start with this statistic, right, which I would imagine would please you as much as anything. Everton, after reaching the 40-point mark in 28 games, that's only the second time they've done that in 9 seasons. Now, I reckon that in itself is an achievement. But, and I know you'll play it down, you must have a wee thought about European football.
Well, I said right at the start, Coisty, that I said to the players that, we need to try and aim for it and hope that it was possible. In truth, it looked a million miles away, to be honest, at the start. But I have to say, we got off to a pretty good start in the league, and it's given us something to hold on to. We've been up and down, and we're probably just on the outside of European football, if we're honest. But we're not that far away that we couldn't try and make a go of it.
David, obviously the Grealish injury was disappointing, but how happy are you now with the competition for places? Beto and Barry are in great form. You've got McNeil and Dibbling fighting for a spot. NDI and Tyreek George. You've got Branthwaite back as well. The squad's looking more healthy now, isn't it?
It certainly is. I mean, I have to say, Jack was brilliant for us in the early part of the season. He gave us lots of things which we haven't had, and he helped the team greatly. So we've missed him, and we missed him over the middle of the season, middle of December and January, really, when we had also a few injuries as well. But probably no different to other clubs. But we're just beginning to find our feet a little bit again, and the players you mentioned, they're all beginning to step up.
Formula One. It's a sport often seen as insular and elitist, but it's seen a meteoric rise under its owners Liberty Media, not only in popularity and viewership, but in the ability to almost print money. From greater access to more races, here's how it happened. For decades, Formula One was owned and run by one man, Bernie Ecclestone. He was old school, someone who thought the sport itself was enough, and there was no need for all this modern marketing and social media nonsense. But in 2016, Ecclestone agreed to sell his baby to American group Liberty Media. It cost Liberty Media $4.4 billion, and they quickly got to work. We got an F1 app almost immediately, and teams were allowed to show us more from behind the scenes. One of Liberty's most important deals was with Netflix, which in 2019 brought us Drive to Survive. The effect? An almost 70% rise in viewership for races in the US alone. It's massively benefited Formula One online too, with a rise from 7.8 million followers across its social media platforms in 2016 to around 50 million today. New eyes are on the sport too, with F1's own subscription TV channel, which people can watch anywhere in the world. But the main market they've tapped into is the US. There's now 3 races there a year, in Texas, Miami and Las Vegas, and an American-branded team, Cadillac, getting involved in the sport too. More races seems to be the direction of travel. A street circuit in Madrid's being welcomed onto the calendar, while conversations around a Grand Prix in Africa have ramped up in the last few years. More big events could be in the offing too, after the massive F1 75 season launch event in London in 2025. 7.5 million people tuned in to watch it live across the social media channels, and that doesn't include the viewing figures for where it was broadcast on TV in certain countries. It seems Liberty will do whatever they can to grow the F1 brand. Their efforts have been worthwhile too, with Forbes valuing the sport at $17.1 billion back in 2023, almost 4 times more than what they bought it for in 2016. Not bad, considering it's seen as a sport where people just drive around in circles.
Good evening and welcome to the final word with me, Majestic, alongside the former Newcastle and West Ham boss, Alan Pardew. Right now, we are the only place on national radio taking your football calls So keep them coming into us on 03717 223344. But now it's time for the quiz that is more exciting than 4 days at Cheltenham with Alan Brazil. Yes, it's the Mystery Footballer Song Quiz. Today we named the Mystery Manager Song Quiz. So there's your first clue. It's the manager. It's simple to play. All you need to do is tell us which famous manager is linked to these 3 songs. Remember, it can be the clubs he managed and even a passion of his away from football. So, DJ Marco, drop the song montage, please. Great songs there. The first one, of course, from Blondie with Maria. Debbie Harry.
I used to love Debbie Harry. Had a poster of her.
So did my dad.
Ah, well done, Dad. He knows his females.
Adele, Rolling in the Deep.
International Women's Day.
Yes, and Crazy Horses by the Osmonds. This is such a crazy song. Like, you had the Osmonds, what they did, and then all of a sudden came out with this.
It was bizarre, even at the time. Like, I remember it coming out, and that's how old I am. And then I thought to myself, that can't be the Osmonds.
That's what everyone must have thought. It feels like a Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Brilliant. So, Debbie Harry from Blondie with Maria, Adele, Rolling in the Deep, and Crazy Horses, the Osmonds. If you think you know the answer to the Mystery Manager football quiz this week, text us on 81089 or WhatsApp us for 3 on 03717 223344. And that sound as well.
Donnie used to do that on an organ. He used to slide this thing on the video.
Yeah, I forget the name of that instrument. It's like I'll find out. It's a particular name.
This is your game.
It is my game, and so is Spurs, which is my game. And we got some callers.
Oh.
So let's go to Michael, who's a Spurs fan. He joins us on the final word. How are we, Michael?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Cards, good show.
Hi, Michael.
It's nice to have a weekend off, right?
Yeah, it was. I loved it. I had a great weekend. Pards, I just wanted to pick up on what you're saying about the fans and, they need to dig in like West Ham are doing. Well, I was there Thursday night, sorry, and I did leave with 10 minutes to go, purely because I've got a train to catch because I live out in the sticks. And there was a bit of an issue with some additional time at the end of the first half, what we were sending off and all that malarkey. So there was that, but you're right, there was a lot of fans that left at half time. There were quite a few empty seats, there's no doubt about that. But before West Ham had their turnaround and their bounce, their fans were leaving. I've got mates that are West Ham season ticket holders. So it's not unusual. They're going to go. Nottingham Forest were the same before they had a bit of a bounce. And there were people leaving or not turning up. And it's natural because, particularly with Tottenham, you pay some of the most expensive tickets.
Oh, Michael, listen, I don't doubt. I don't doubt exactly what you're saying. But there does come a time, which I think these clubs, sometimes the fan bases go, right, this is it. We got to get behind a team, otherwise we've got no chance. And I think that's the point me and Madge are on, aren't we? We're kind of like,
I agree.
But Michael, I feel. Sorry, me Apple Watch is talking to us. I feel as a fan base, we're waiting for the players either to show us something that we can get behind, or the board sort themselves out and go and put Tottenham people in charge that we can go, do you know what? I can get behind this group here. It was telling to see on Thursday's game that Archie Gray and Matthias Tell, who for me has been treated pretty badly by Thomas Frank with the in and out of the Champions League squad, and even last season he was almost like the player liaison. Like, he's giving it his all, where you look to some of the other players and you go, I could get a bit more from you.
Well, I agree. It's like Mickey van der Ven. I love him. He's a brilliant player. It was daft. It was a red card. There's no doubt about it. But he's given up. He's not there. And the players have to show the fans something. And at the beginning of the game, there was a massive roar, and they were trying to get behind the team and trying to push them on and do that, and they were desperate for the win because we just had to win that game.
Yeah. I got to say, Michael, I had a problem at the start of the game where Tudor had set the team up and to not press, and I thought that was an error because, as you say, the crowd are definitely with you for the first 20. If they're not with you the first 20 minutes, you've got no chance in any football game.
Yeah.
So you've got to give them something there, and I thought you backed off, and Palace kept the ball far too easily in that period. That was a difficult start.
We've done that. I was there. Aston Villa as well. We went 1-0 up, and you think, okay, here we go. We were playing quite well, and then we just back off. And I don't understand what it is. I know it's a confidence problem, but and I know you get a lot of ex-pros say you can't question players' commitment. They do try, but I'm sorry, as a fan, you're looking at them. And you look at the performance some of them are getting, and if I did that in my job, I'd be sacked. If I did it for this long.
Speaking of sackings, Michael, Tudor, would you sack him?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have appointed him, but I appreciate it's a bit, but I can't see there's a change at all. So to give it a last shot, just get someone. I'm not necessarily saying Harry because he's getting on a bit, and I love him, but I would say, why not Glenn Hoddle or Tim Sherwood? They've got Tottenham DNA. They understand the club. Give it a go. We've got nothing else to lose.
And they both said they'd do it.
We're going down.
They both said they'd do it. Great call, Michael. Thank you. We can continue the calls on 03 717 22 33 If you've been waiting all week to have your say on Spurs, now is your quick chance. 03 717 22 33
Let's go to Lauren, who's Arsenal fan. All right, Lauren?
Oh, hi, Jamie. Sorry, it's actually Laura, the Arsenal fan.
All right, Laura.
Hi, how are you, boys?
Yeah, we're good. How are you? You feeling good?
Up the Chelsea.
Oh, I'm feeling great. I've just come fresh off the back of presenting the Arsenal game on TNT and just, to be honest, really enjoyed it, Jay.
Oh, it's Woodsy.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Woodsy, you've done it.
What's happening?
Woodsy, why is it taking you so long to phone us up?
Do you know what? I've been revelling in a brilliant season and I've just been enjoying myself.
You know what? It's bad if Woodsy's phoning us up. It's bad. Hold on. Where have you been when you've been bottling it, Woodsy? What's happened? All of a sudden you go 7 points clear and you phone us.
Jamie, I had to scroll down my phone. It took about 5 minutes to find you on the table.
Oh, Woodsy, this is
scrolling.
Spurs ain't even played and it's the worst night for us ever. Like, what is going on?
I don't even want to answer questions. I just want to ask you how you're feeling.
Woodsy, take the floor.
Woodsy,
I'll sit back and enjoy it. All right, take the
Woodsy,
floor.
I feel sick. I feel sick as a dog right now, honestly.
How awful is it? How bad on a scale of like 1 to Spurs is it right now?
I can't believe I'm getting stick off Woodsy.
Woodsy, can I ask you
up talkSPORT?
Woodsy, can I ask you a question? Woodsy, do you want Spurs to get relegated?
If I had a choice of which one, is that what you're asking me?
Woodsy, answer whatever way you want, right? Do you want Spurs to get relegated?
No, I absolutely don't want Spurs to get relegated because I want to enjoy more North London derby pummeling for years to come. For years to come.
3 songs from our mystery football manager. And that sound, the iconic wailing siren-like synth sound on the Osmonds' 1972 hit Crazy Horses, was created using a Yamaha YC30 and sometimes a YC45D. It's a combo organ.
I know it well.
Yeah, it was played through a wall of Marshall amps to produce a piercing, distorted sound with a wah-wah pedal, often used to modulate the tone. So
wow.
Very innovative of the Osmonds. Wow.
It's a mouthful.
The 3 songs, of course, Debbie Harry, Maria, Adele Rolling in the Deep, Crazy Horses, the Osmonds. If you think you know the answer to the mystery football manager quiz, text us on 81089 or WhatsApp on 03717 2233.
I suppose Donny Osmond. You don't remember Donny Osmond in his prime?
No,
Puppy
but
Love and all
I've
that.
seen it because
all the girls going crazy.
Yeah, I've seen it all because, like, you know, when he used to go on like This Morning back in the day when I was younger,
Yeah,
and they
you
were
see
like,
the
"Hey,
clips.
Donny," back in the clip.
Yeah,
Did he sing Puppy Love?
Puppy Love was the big love song.
Yeah.
But I suppose Harry Styles is that now. Is that Donny Osmond? No?
Maybe.
No? Young girls, all, you know.
Did you see Harry's choreography at the Brits?
It's not bad, was it?
You know what
No,
it is?
Go on.
Somebody did say this, like, and someone went crazy on TikTok.
He's got a new choreographer because he got criticised, didn't he, for his dad dancing. I read.
Yeah, but it's just,
I'm good at dad dancing.
Did it show how far we've fallen when you had like the likes of Michael Jackson and the moves that he was busting out?
Well, yeah. I mean, come on, we're talking about a different level now.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, can't expect Harry.
And even in terms of the voice, like someone compared his voice to George Michael. Someone went mad. Said, "Mate, George Michael."
Yeah, no, George. No.
Different levels.
Michael Jackson, George, different.
But those levels of pop stars don't exist anymore.
Oh, I don't know about that. In the female section, I think we got a few.
Who?
Ray, for example.
I love Ray.
Well, I'm definitely putting her right up there.
What would you say?
Top 5 in Whitney Houston, the top 5.
With Whitney and Madonna
up there, yeah.
Ray's up there for you.
Ray's she's fighting away. She's gonna make it. Come on, Ray.
Ray is great. I love Ray.
I love Ray.
A lovely girl as well. Anyway, enough music talk. If you want some music, don't forget Virgin Radio. Slide across on the talkSPORT app, and you can listen to the Chris Evans Breakfast Show and TFI Fridays back on their YouTube channel. It's absolutely incredible, and I want an invite on there to watch.
You'd
the
be
show.
good on there.
I think I'd be good on TFI.
Has he still got the table and the cup of tea?
He's got
and
the
all
table,
that?
everything. He's got the bell.
Has he? Okay.
Such a throwback. Before we get back to your calls, let's now hear from the Leeds manager, Daniel Farker, after their comfortable win at home against Norwich in the FA Cup today.
There's no replacement for wins and for the confidence and what it does for the group. We had many good performances and also praise for many performances in the draw or in the tight loss against Man City, for example. But to have this winning feeling back in the dressing room is excellent.
I think as well, you've had some tough home games. It's not easy. You look and go, well, you've lost 3 and 4, but one was Arsenal, one was Man City. Yeah. So again, to get the home supporters, that moment today was quite important.
Yes, of course. So if you play the caliber of Man City or Arsenal, this is of course a different game. With all respect to a championship side, there's also no doubt about this. It's of course a bit more easier to win this type of game, but you have to deliver first. So you can have a look on other pitches, how difficult it is, and we have done it in an excellent manner today. And for that, definitely a really good day for everyone who's involved with Leeds United.
Leeds manager there, Daniel Farker, after their side's win in the FA Cup that sees Leeds progress.
So that's exactly my point. So he makes 9 changes, right? They win comfortably, by the way. They were excellent. Yeah. And so the whole squad now is like,
winning feeling. Great.
We're all great.
Great going into the to the next game for them, of course. Don't forget, coming up after us this evening is the Trans-Europe Express with Danny Kelly, and it's just gone 1-0 to AC Milan in the Milan derby. So I'm sure they'll be talking on the back of that. 1-0 to AC Milan, currently in the Milan derby in Syria. Let's go back to the calls. We have a Leeds fan. Let's speak to a Leeds fan. We've got Matt who joins us. Hello, Matt.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Quarterfinals for you, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, happy with that. Really happy with it, to be honest. Really good performance today. And it just continues the really good work that Daniel Farker's done this season. You think back to that half-time at Man City back in November, after going away, losing to Notts Forest. We were playing some pretty bang average football, to say the least. And he changed it up. Whether his backroom staff, whoever came up with the idea, changed it up, and it's just kicked on our season massively. We went on that run of form. we're playing solid football as well.
Do you know what?
It proves that sometimes chopping and changing it doesn't help.
Absolutely,
our
man.
managers have got to change it themselves.
Matt, I spoke to a few Leeds fans at the end of last season when you were coming up, and a lot of them were like, I don't know if Daniel Farke's the right guy for us in the Premier League. How happy are you that you stuck with him, like you said, and didn't chop and change?
I'm quite happy, to be honest. I was always pretty behind Farke. I mean, I went to quite a few games last season, and the football that we played was just unreal. But it was tough, not going to lie. Midway November, it was tough football, tough to watch. But I went to the Palace game before Christmas, and fans, we've almost done what, going back on your point, we've done what Spurs fans should be doing. We've decided to back our manager. We've got behind the team, and we've just improved. No end. Ellen Road is not a good place to go for any travelling team.
No, it's not.
We're playing decent football. We're not prime Guardiola Barcelona, but we're doing a job. And given our run of fixtures, like what Farke was saying earlier, like we've had some tough fixtures, and we've got through them, and we've been respectable. There's only really one team that's battered us this season consistently, that's been Arsenal, and
Yeah.
that's really it.
So would that be your tip to Spurs fans, Matt? You want to get behind your team and your manager if you want to see improvement?
I remember when Leeds went down a few seasons ago, and we hired Sam Allardyce for 3 games. What's the point in that? Like,
That's
what's
correct.
the point
Yeah.
in that? You're asking Igor Tudor. You look at the fixtures that you've had. Like, yeah, you've got a tough game midweek against Atletico, but managers got to be given the chance to change it. If managers don't change it, like Thomas Frank, he wasn't changing it, so fair enough, get rid of him. But you've got to give some faith. Like, sometimes managers are unwilling to change. That's exactly why Man U got rid of Ruben Amorim, because he was too steadfast.
Too stubborn, yeah.
Now, what, Matt? What Leeds? I've got you down as 7 wins here. You need 3 more. Where's your 3 coming from?
We're going to beat Spurs.
Hey.
When we're going to beat Spurs. We'll beat Burnley when they come to Ellen Road, and we'll probably do Brentford on a Saturday night under the lights at Ellen Road. To be
Wow.
honest.
Okay. Well, that's a good shout. Yeah, you got it all lined up.
Really cool. Thank you very much, Matt. Let's hope he doesn't beat Spurs. Speaking of Spurs, let's go over to Chris. We've got another Spurs fan who joins us on the final one. Hello, Chris.
Oh, good evening, Madge. Good evening, Sir Alan Pardew.
How are you?
Not bad, mate, yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, I think, and I'm going to start by saying, if you compare us to, and I shouldn't really say this, but you compare us to our rivals Arsenal. Now, when Mikel Arteta goes in that dressing room, he knows he's got a backing of the board, he's got a backing of most of the fans. He's been there, must be coming up to 6-7 years he's been there now.
Yeah.
He has got the authority in that dressing room. The players know that it's a toss-up between him or them. He would win every time. And he's got that gravitas about that authority because the board backed him. You see, the problem is, you see, in the past is we've had very good managers. We had Conte. We had Nuno Espirito Santo, who really, I think we sacked him far too early. And if you look at the job he did at Forest, he was doing a marvellous job.
He did get battered through on the bounce, though, Nuno, didn't he?
Well, I mean, yeah, it did happen at one point. But again, as I say, look at the job he's doing at Forest. I mean, I think, again, you can't just keep chopping and changing managers all the time. I mean, we do. I mean, again, you know, Mikel Arteta, he's got that authority in that dressing room. The players know he ain't going anywhere. What he says goes. And, I mean, regardless to Igor Tudor, I mean, I didn't really want Frank. I was until the end of the season. If you're really, really not happy with him, then change at the end of the season. He would have got something out of the Fulham game and the Palace game, probably. Igor Tudor, I mean, listen, you know, I'm going to slightly contradict myself in a way, really, but if we sacked him and got a third manager, humiliating, but what's more humiliating? Getting relegated.
Yeah.
It is. And I would say to you, get on the phone to Sean Dyche and get him in there now.
Dyche?
Yeah.
You go with Dyche. Listen, I love Dyche and I love his taste in music, but
taste in music.
I think he's very much, as Matt the Leeds fan was saying, when they got Sam Allardyce in, it's like you're getting in somebody who's got a bit of a... imagine if there was an actor and they were typecasted. I think Sean's been unfairly typecasted of a certain style of management, when in actual fact, you need the players to play a Sean Dyche system. We ain't got the Sean Dyche players. I make them run through walls for me every morning. They eat gravel. They eat gravel and nails, and they'll run through a wall.
I think that's probably a bit harsh on Sean.
Oh, we haven't got that. Spurs haven't got that.
No, I don't. I'm not sure he's perfect fit. But listen, I still think the manager at the moment needs to run his course, and he hasn't run it yet.
I think he's going to run it into the Championship if we're not careful.
Okay, well, let's see.
03717 22 3344. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about football's style of play. This is the final word on talkSPORT.
You're going to see me fight with a lot of passion and ferocity. I think when you're boxing a taller guy who's okay with sneaking a little split decision win or whatever else, you have to go and get him. So I'm looking forward to putting it on the line.
He knows you, you know him. There's a fair bit of mutual respect, is there, Tony?
Definitely. He's a tough fighter. He's someone who never ducked, so I respect that.
I mean, have you had history together before, as in sparring together? I know you were in the
We never sport together. We went to the same Olympic Games, but we never spar. It was to the cruiserweight. It wasn't a cruiserweight.
Yeah. He picked up the bronze medal. You got the gold medal that year. Yeah. So it's an interesting time and an interesting clash. Did you ever think you was going to fight him?
I mean, when he went up to the heavyweight, of course, I was like, okay, maybe I can fight him, and especially because he's in the top 10, so that's a good opportunity.
How important is it getting home advantage as well? Because we was over at the Paris Olympics. You come up and done a piece for us for talkSPORT, actually, which was great. You brought your gold medal. I was hoping to see that today, by the way. But but you brought your gold medal, and it was fantastic. But they love you over there. You were sitting with the president at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's really great for me to have the opportunity to fight in Paris. I know Frank and George Warren been telling me that they want to build something great in France too. So.
Win a VIP trip to the British Grand Prix on talkSPORT.
Now listen up, F1 fans, we're sending two of you to the British Grand Prix on Sunday, July the 5th, with Bull Racing Green Trackside Experience. Forget a general admission, you're getting exclusive grandstand seats, plus inner track access to watch the drivers roll into the paddock. And we've got the whole day sorted with all-day street food, a fully open bar, and more. It's the ultimate British Grand Prix, completely on us. Here's how to enter for your chance to win. Text the word WIN to 83338. That's 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rates. Or give us a call on 0343 418 7260. Lines close on the 20th of March at 4 p.m. Text us. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. So text us that answer on 83338. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. Now, there's been a lot of talk recently. There's been a lot of talk. Alan Pardew comes into mind.
Not Alan Pardew, thank you very much.
Now, there's been a lot of talk recently about football being boring. and football teams playing to a system rather than allowing for entertaining individual flair and invention. Of course, this comes back to what we were talking about the other day. And Arsenal look like they're likely to win the league. There's been criticism of them being set-piece FC, even though it's actually not true in terms of stats. And they are well-drilled, well-oiled, but it isn't the most attractive football. You've done the game with Arsenal and Brighton the other night. But is it?
Well,
win at all costs, Pards?
I have to say that I think the Premier League as a whole, and I said this the other night, has turned into a kind of disappointing season. When you look on the back of PSG, the way they played in that Champions League final, I thought, that's usually the turnaround.
Indicator,
yeah. The next year in the Premier League, we're going to see a lot more of that one-touch passing, movement, etc., clever individual play. But actually, we've gone backwards a little bit in terms of set plays being dominant, long throws. Almost every team has a long throw. The time it takes to set up a long throw is almost as long as it takes to set up a free kick, for example. Your centre halves are coming up. You've got to adjust the team. Everybody has to be balanced. You're going to close the pitch down, etc. And I just think that with that in mind, that's been a bit of a problem for a lot of people who watch the Premier League. I think they've been disappointed in some of the games. I think we've had some cracking games, but not a lot. No. And certainly not some free-flowing games where the game has been opened by a coach.
I remember, we've done this show together now this is our third season, right? And I recall going, what an advert for the Premier League on a few occasions. Remember, was it the Man City-Chelsea 4-4 with the penalties at the end and, other games like that. Again, as a Spurs fan, it sounds crazy, but I'm going to have to back up Arsenal and Arteta here because I am a football man and I have to say what I see. Arsenal have been criticised by so many pundits for being soft, having a soft underbelly, and they won't win like that. Arteta has answered every critic at every single hurdle of his career and given them a response, and he's still being criticised.
That is the nature of success sometimes.
Yes.
But what I would say is that, and obviously I did a commentary at Brighton, some of the strengths of that team are quite remarkable. The defensive discipline of the team, the wide players tracking back, looking after the team in terms of not letting their fullbacks go, being so diligent. Of course, that comes at a cost offensively. Gabriel at the back four, they're so solid, they're so hard to break down. And Brighton did everything to try and break them. And, they're in 4 competitions. That's the bottom line with this style. And I think as maybe as unattractive as it is, it's very, very effective and very difficult to beat.
Do you think as well there is an argument to say that the Premier League in general has become a lot tougher? Because if you look across the league in recent years, even this year it might be changing a little bit with the likes of Eze going to Arsenal, Gay going to Manchester City, Semenyo going to City. All of the other teams who might have been mid-table teams to lower half had 1 or 2 players that could do something special. You look at Crystal Palace in recent years, Gahey, Eze, Elise,
but they get eaten up by the big clubs.
Yeah.
And that's not the nature of always.
But before, for example, those players there, and I think this is what really actually why Spurs have struggled a bit. Spurs would be that kind of bounce club they'd go to first. Now it's the Bournemouths. Like the Premier League's become so competitive that players from the continents and outside of England who come in, they want into the Premier League, they'll go to the Bournemouths and the Brightons and the Brentfords.
Yeah.
You see with Brentford this season with the striker, the Brazilian lad.
And Nelson.
Yeah, no, Igor.
Yeah, of course.
He's
But you got to remember that there is always going to be at some point one of the big clubs coming for your best player. It's always happened traditionally, and it isn't going to happen because the financial network is still exactly the same. Arsenal, Manchester City, Man United, even Chelsea, Liverpool, their financial strength and power and their history gives a real draw and attention to your best player.
Yeah, of course.
So, that's always going to happen. But
I think those clubs have held on to those players longer in recent times.
And got better fees, actually.
And they've spread out over a different clubs rather than, like I said, being at just the Spurs, etc. And again, you look at, say, you mentioned Aston Villa, how good their squad is now, how they've strengthened, and Newcastle's squad is fantastic. I just think there's a lot better teams in the Premier League now. So trying to win,
but also, I think, you know, if we're talking about tactics, etc., one of the things that all the Premier League clubs have improved on is the ability to stop the opposition.
Yes,
and that has become a real priority. Whereas, perhaps, and certainly in some years, the priority has been, we'll deal with them, but offensively, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to cause them a lot of problems. That kind of flip is really not being seen much in the Premier League. I'm not seeing many teams set up and saying, right, for Mourinho, for example, I'll give you an example at Chelsea. Mourinho, at times, he's two wide players. He wouldn't let them defend. No. He would just leave them at the top of the pitch, and he would just box the middle off and defend and say, well, we can cope with you, and you're going to have to deal with my two wide players.
Yeah, that was the Mourinho way, wasn't it?
No, but he didn't always play like that.
No, but, you know, having that, you know, boxing off that middle, that, you know, that, he created that almost.
But also,
role,
but to have the bravery to do that as a top club, and you know, when you go to Liverpool, and I go back to a couple of years ago, Salah no one really criticised his defending because he never was asked to defend. He was like, just be free.
Yeah.
And Hazard at Chelsea, not under Mourinho, under other managers, was given the freedom.
Free reign, yeah.
And, you know, when I look at Palmer sometimes at Chelsea, I'm just thinking, just leave him.
Yeah.
Just let him drift. Just defend it with the other 9 and just let him
There are players
drift around.
that you need to just have. Correct. Gascoigne being one of them. You know, if you want to see Mavericks blossom, they just need permission and a license to be anywhere they want.
Well, just going back to Gaz, I mean, Gaz had a little bit more on a locker in terms of defensive ability, by the way. But, you know, there are real Glenn Hoddle being another player where you've got a guy that just go on.
Yeah.
You know, give them a little bit more of a platform. What I see at Brighton with Arsenal the other day, where the asterisk quote message come from, really was about the gamemanship in the game and the tightness and the lack of movement from the front three a little bit. And I think now they've got that extra couple of points. They've got a little bit of a cushion. Maybe they can open up. Because I think this team, I do think when Eze and all the top players, Saka, all them great flair players, I think they could be a lot better in terms of the offensive.
Unfortunately, Spurs know all too well about that because we've conceded 8 goals against.
Correct.
And 5 of them have come from Eze.
Yeah, there's been their best performances, I think.
Well, from one Alan to another, talkSPORT caught up with Arsenal legend Alan Smith, who knows a thing or two about winning with Arsenal, of course, in that 94 Cup Winners' Cup final, wasn't it? Against Parma. He scored that goal. Was it against Parma?
He was an outstanding footballer. There's no doubt about that.
Alan Smith at the Football Awards this week, who spoke about the Gunners' style of play.
I normally like Pards, but it's a totally ridiculous comment from him. He slipped up a little bit there. I mean, normally asterisks are something to do with points deducted or whatever. I mean, if Arsenal win the league, they're fully deserving of winning it. You know, they've gone 100% record in the Champions League. And football always evolves, and this season, it might not continue, but this season, set pieces are very important, not just with Arsenal, with everyone. And it just so happens that the Gunners are the best and most effective at it, and you just take what you can get.
Alan Smith there, the Football Awards pods.
Yeah.
Was you at the Football Awards this week?
No, I didn't get anything, no. Yeah, he's right in some ways because my comment was not meant to be kind of tainted as it was.
They're very sensitive.
It was a cheeky line. I mean, you know.
They are very sensitive at the moment. You know why? Because they're so close, and yet I think they still don't believe entirely that they're going to win it. So they're in that crazy place at the moment.
Maybe. I just think, you know, as a throwaway comment, really, which it was, I just think it got so much attention. It was ridiculous.
Well, it's the name of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And you know, I've had my couple of taxi drivers this week express their feelings to me, in a certain manner.
Yeah, but
in a nice way, really.
But again, I think, you know, we've spoken to Arsenal fans and friends of ours that we know in terms of the Arsenals of yesteryear with Bergkamp and Henry and Pires, etc., the way that they played football compared to how they're going to win the league this time. But after, 20 plus years of
Yeah,
not winning.
that is it. You know,
They just want to get it done. They just
and,
want to
and
go
I've
and
said
win.
that before. About Man United. The first time they won it, they had to grind.
Yeah,
they had to grind because the pressure gets so big when you haven't won it for so long.
So just to put a lid on the asterisk now, you're removing the comment. Are you removing the comment?
What do you mean removing it?
Like, is it coming out?
It's not like it. I'm not the CEO of the Premier League. There isn't. I'm going to be one. There isn't an asterisk after their name. Yeah. If they win the league, it's Arsenal won the league.
Fair and square.
Fair and square.
No asterisks.
No.
Right. Ever wondered how to turn your passion for sport into a career? talkSPORT presents a special International Women's Day programme hosted by Shabana Hearn that brings together some of its most respected on and off-air talent that talkSPORT have to offer an honest, inspiring and practical guide on being a female in sports media. You can watch the show now on the talkSPORT YouTube channel and Women's Football page. And don't forget, Leanne Sanderson is back on talkSPORT Women's Football Show tomorrow at the noon time of 5 p.m. on talkSPORT 2. Coming up next, before we hand the baton over to Danny Kenny, we reveal who the mystery football manager is. That's coming up next on talkSPORT.
Chicken, 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 chicken. Can you hear me, chicken? You must have hell of beat the big cockerel. Honestly, the big cockerel. Sages by the stadium. There's that shining. Where is he? Can you hear me? There's that shining. You must have hell of beat the Morgan Gibbs White shining. What happened to that one? Where's he gone? Can you hear me, Morgan's White? You must have hell of a beat to the Williams side of Big Edge. Big Edge. Do me a favour. Can you hear me, Big Edge? You must have hell of a beat, Big Edge. AJ Tracy, Seven Sisters train station. Adele, 3-point lane. There is to do. Jamie Horror, you must have won hell of a beating. Ticking. Adele. Chicken. Adele. Chicken.
All right.
Chicken. Adele. You must have won hell of a beating.
Crestfallen.
Adele.
I'm crestfallen.
Chicken. Adele. Chicken.
Of Blondie fame with Maria. Adele rolling in the deep. And the Osmonds with Crazy Horses. A hit from 1972. And the answer part, of course, was
Harry Redknapp.
Had to be Harry, didn't it? So many people got it right, including our favourite listener on International Women's Day parts, Laura, the Liverpool fan. She got it right. Harry, the Spurs fan, got it right and correctly got every song clue right as well. And Loa, the Liverpool fan, got it right and says it's his birthday today, so happy birthday to Loa.
Right. Exactly why we won it.
Yeah, that is exactly why it is. Harry Redknapp. And Harry Redknapp has a huge chance of winning the Gold Cup pods at Cheltenham as he owns one of the favourites, the Jukebox Man.
Friday, I think.
Friday. And you can hear all 28 races live from Cheltenham across the talkSPORT network, starting from 1 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. You been Cheltenham much before, Pards?
I've only been once. It was a long way for me. It's a long journey.
It's a big one. It's like, I've never.
People love it though, don't they?
No, I don't think I've ever been to a horse meet. You know.
Oh, they're a great day out. Yeah, great day out.
Maybe I'll have to attend one.
It's difficult to get back. You have to sort of stay over.
Stay over, yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll get an invite one day from talkSPORT. Not yet, though.
No, okay.
I'm still waiting for the dance invite. Now we've been talking about the FA Cup on the show, so it's now time to take a walk down memory lane.
Thorne flicked it on, and it's gone in! Pardew! 4-3 Palace! Thorne flicks it on, and somewhere out the crowd came Pardew.
Wow. Listening to that, what was that now? How many years ago was that? 1990, 36 years ago, Pards.
Yeah. Different lifestyle.
Can you remember it? Like when you listen back to that, the moment and the way the game was unfolding?
Yeah, I mean, it was a strange game because it was the first time 2 live games were on a Sunday.
Oh, really?
So, and obviously there was no Sky at that time, so it was terrestrial TV. Everybody watched it, and our game was obviously a classic in terms of the entertainment factor of it going one end to the other, backwards and forwards. And Liverpool, in a way, had it won at one stage, and then we sort of fought back. And it was incredible, really, because mainly because they were the first 2 live games, the coverage of it sort of elevated my position as a footballer. Yeah, sort of brought me into, everybody knowing my name, whereas before no one knew where I was. I was sort of like one of the cogs in a very well-oiled machine at Crystal Palace.
So that's really interesting to hear, actually. So because again, football's very different now. Like. My son knows the names of every player from every team.
And we're saturated with football now.
Exactly. So it's different back then because you didn't have all the different media outlets talking about players all the time.
No, you still had Match of the Day, of course, on a Saturday night, but a live game was rare. And, there was only like semi-finals, etc., etc. But to have 2, that was the thing. We had both semi-finals were on the same day. Man United and Oldham kicked off before us and then us.
So explain to me the week after that game, like how much was it a different walking out your front door? Like, was it like a lot of people going, that's Alan Pardew?
No, it wasn't so much the first week of walking out my front door, but like the football world knew who I was.
Yeah.
Going to away games, I'll be highlighted in the programme, for example, where that never happened before. It was as I say, it kind of took my name out there. And I still believe to this day that perhaps if I hadn't got that goal, a coaching management career might not have come my way.
Really?
Well, you have to have a kind of a name to get a job, so to speak. It's difficult. Even when you think about Jose Mourinho, for example, didn't really have a professional career.
No.
And had to make a different route there. You can make a route, but it is easier if people know of you.
So was that your sliding doors moment then?
Yeah, I think so. And then it elevated me with the Crystal Palace fans as well, because when I'd come in from non-league, I was pretty raw. I mean, I was like getting around the pitch okay, but giving it away mostly. And that wasn't the plan. So, it kind of embedded me into. But I was having a great season, actually. That was probably my best season.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, because even with remember last year in the FA Cup, Spurs went to, I can't remember, who did we play in the Cup? I think it was like a lower league team. And I think it was like AstroTurf or whatever else. Anyway, one of their players had like Poro on toast. And it was like, he's now got a bigger move because he's been seen by a wider audience. Like you said, that's what happens with the FA Cup. That's the magic of the FA Cup. All eyes on the FA Cup still.
Of course. And actually, I can go back even further than that. Before that game, another sliding doors moment when in the FA Cup we played Bristol City. I was at Dulwich Hamlet and I was playing against Jerry Gow, who was the manager of Yeovil. Probably at Bristol City. And then when he became manager at Yeovil, he took me there on the back of the performance that I had against him. Personally,
really,
yeah. So it's those moments that you build careers, and it's like Jamie Vardy, for example. When Jamie Vardy was a non-league player, how could a player with that talent be missed for all those years? And then obviously and then ends up winning the Premier League.
Record-breaking striker
Correct.
in games in a row, and had some housery about
Darren
him.
Anderton and was a non-league player. Ian Wright, of course, was a non-league player.
Wow.
There was a lot of players who missed the whole sort of. Well, it wasn't academies then. It was like a YTS scheme, or like a junior.
Well, there's some of this be said that Semenyo and Eze had to do it the harder way.
Correct. Yeah.
Considering how good they are as footballers.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. That, of course, we were reflecting on that goal for Pards in the 1990 semi-final against Liverpool, and that's the magic of the FA Cup in so many different ways, like we've seen today with Port Vale, who are currently bottom of League One.
Yeah, that was an amazing result.
Beating Fulham. Beating Sunderland. Fulham got beaten by Southampton.
Yep.
2 Premier League teams out of the FA Cup, and Port Vale and Southampton go into the draw for the quarter-final. And don't forget, tomorrow, West Ham take on Brentford, which is live on talkSPORT. But now let's look to a huge week in the Champions League, and you hear all these games live across the talkSPORT network. Let's start with the talkSPORT 2 game, 5:45 on Tuesday the 10th of March. Galatasaray and Liverpool. Away at Galatasaray is never easy, Pards, is it?
Tough venue, that. You know, the whole experience of arriving there, trying to get a night's sleep when the fans are usually outside the
fireworks,
etc., etc. The coach journey and the reception that they're going to receive is hair-raising, but a great experience. You know, it's one of those big games that you can't help but look forward to.
Atletico Madrid, Tottenham, of course, at 8 o'clock on the Tuesday. We already spoke about that, so we'll move on from them. Then Wednesday, 11th of March, the early kickoff.
Hold on. Newcastle, Barcelona. You can't ignore that.
Oh, no, we can't ignore that. Absolutely.
What a game that's going to be. And, you know, Bobby Robson, etc., all the old history of that game. So I really hope. I think Newcastle could get a result there, actually. I really hope so, at home.
The classic. You think of Asprilla.
Yeah.
That comes to mind, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's got some great history, and you know, but Bobby Robson will be the main thing, you know, obviously. Yeah. So that would be great memories there, and I'm sure they'll have the old footage up, etc., etc. Great man.
Then Wednesday, Leverkusen and Arsenal is the early kickoff on talkSPORT 2. I only see an Arsenal win there.
Really. Yeah. You know, they're having a strange season, aren't they? I can't see them getting anything against Arsenal.
Real Madrid, Manchester City, which seems to happen every year in the Champions League. I don't know why, but it's great. And that's on talkSPORT on 8 o'clock. And then from 8 o'clock on talkSPORT 2, PSG, Chelsea.
Which I think is the clash of the round.
Yeah.
I think I'm really intrigued to see how Chelsea get on against that team. I watched a little bit of them the other night, Paris Saint-Germain. They were brilliant. I wouldn't say they was back to the performance that they put in the Roma game, but they wasn't far away. Absolutely. That's going to be a difficult day for Chelsea, that.
Right, the talkSPORT Breakfast Show returns on Monday morning with Alan Brazil's week of breakfast shows begin. Unmissable radio, of course, with Cheltenham coming up. But if you need some music in your life, swipe across on the talkSPORT app to the Virgin Radio Breakfast Show with Chris Evans, and the final FA Cup 5th round game takes place tomorrow evening as West Ham play Brentford, live on talkSPORT from 7. And the final word returns next Sunday. I might not be here, dodging another Spurs game. But next up is one of the best shows on radio, as the brilliant Danny Kelly brings you the Transeurope Express right here on talkSPORT. So from me, Imagine in Pards.
It's a very good night.